Alright, welcome back to Resistance 3, and the level where we spend most of our time killing other humans instead of Chimera. Because that is now a thing that we are doing in the Resistance series.
Joseph.
This guy's going to be our Malikov replacement.
I found this book among Dr. Malikov's things. He was a brilliant man. My name is Herbert Sawicki. I've been Mick's lackey for over 3 years. I'm tired of being a victim. No more. I have a plan to escape, but we need to move quickly. You see that drone up there? There are 4 of them around the prison. You need to disable them. Here, I made something that should keep you safe. You can pull the trigger to fire quickly, or hold it down to build up pressure for a more powerful shot. Take the radio too. I'll get the door.
So now every time we get a Malikov journal, and I'm using air quotes if you can't see me right now, instead of having Dr. Malikov's voice actor read it out, we will have Herbert's voice actor read it out. And we have a new gun. So let's try it out.
I should have warned you. That weapon tends to have some rather unpredictable results.
It's the GES bio rifle from Unreal.
Oh my god, you killed him!
So, seriously, first function, single little blobs. Second function, you charge it up and fire a big blob that instantly kills a guy. This is exactly the GES bio rifle from Unreal and Unreal Tournament. This is it. This is the last weapon we get in the game. I cannot begin to tell you how disappointed I am.
You can disperse a cloud into a group.
Sorry, second function is the gas attack, but you can hold down the fire button to charge it up. This is the bio rifle.
I created that weapon using tissue samples from a Chimeran leech. More effective than I could have imagined.
I'm just really disappointed by the lack of creativity in the weapons in this game at this point. Nearly every gun is either returning from a previous Resistance game in some way or another, either identically from a previous game or with a few modifications, or it's the cryo gun, or it's the sledgehammer. Yeah, big letdown.
We have to disable the drones first. Then we'll come back and help the rest of the prisoners escape. Right now, the drones are sending an all-clear signal to any nearby Chimera. Oh, Mick asked me to make some repairs to the remote access transistors.
Didn't say nothing to me about no transistors need repair.
Oh, sure. These things go bad all the time. You can see for yourself. Look over here.
So basically we have to go around the jail, and there's 4 of those drones we have to dismantle. We can't really interact with any of the prisoners. There are no rescue missions. We basically dismantle the drones, and then everyone's released in a cutscene because, you know, nothing too difficult or complex as far as gameplay is concerned for Resistance 3.
This used to be the central control hub for the whole prison. Now they use it for entertainment of a sort.
Did I mention I was disappointed with the guns? Because I
They
am.
call themselves Wardens. They used to be prisoners here, but now they live on the other side of the bars. There's no explanation for their behavior. They're just drunk with power, or fear, or both.
So yeah, fighting humans as enemies is dumb, as Herbert has explained. Have I mentioned that I'm disappointed by the weapons in this game?
Catwalk at the far end of the room, but you'll have to go through the showers to get there. My apologies. Once you disable the rest of the drones, we should expect the Chimera to arrive quickly.
Oh, stop talking, Herbert. I want to talk. Okay. Alright. Those of you who played Resistance 1 might be thinking, well, Sally, Insomniac's trying to... They want to bring back sort of classic Resistance gameplay, so you may be disappointed by the lack of weird and strange and exciting weapons in this game, but don't worry, by the time you get to New Game Plus, there will probably be a second weapon wheel that you unlock with new weapons, right? Just like in Resistance Fall of Man, right? There aren't. This is it. These are all the guns we get. Yeah. You know. Yeah, the last 3 guns we've gotten are the rifle from the very first game, unchanged, a sledgehammer, and the GES bio rifle from Unreal. When I first played this, I was actually really disillusioned at this point. Aside from ripping off Half-Life and Jaws and The Road and whatever, I was really disappointed at the lack of creativity in these guns. I've already said that, but I was just a bit overwhelmed at this point. Whatever. Trying to make the most of the jail, though. This section is... I don't know. That shower segment was sort of a stealth area. As you can see, it was easy to blaze through and just kill everyone with the bio rifle. The Wardens aren't super aggressive. They aren't quite as overwhelming as the hybrids. They tend to just, well, depending on what weapon they have, if they have a gun, and they tend to either carry the carbine or the magnum. If they have a gun, they'll take cover like what they're doing, and move from cover to cover while firing at you. If they have a melee weapon, like a bat or a sledgehammer, they'll just run at you. So, they are, in effect, less effective chimeras. Oh, and that there is drone number 2.
Good. The next drone is in cell block B. Cell block B is home for the Wardens. Try to...
You saw that guy with the sledgehammer. They act kind of like the AI in Condemned Criminal Origins. They just run at you while grunting.
I got it, Joe. It's a blown fuse in the main breaker. I can fix it from here. Hold on. Opening doors for cell block B.
So I don't know what the point of that was. Like, we lost power and turned on the flashlight.
Door's not working.
Maybe we were going to have this creepy segment where it's dark out.
You'll have to go down to the first floor.
But
Through the utility room.
no, just kidding. Everything's fine. Here's a fully lit area. Turn off the flashlight. So I don't actually know what that was all about, to be honest. The art design for this area isn't particularly inspired. It feels like any number of areas in Fallout 3. It's just gray and brown, some candles, and things like pool tables scattered about, burning oil drums. Yeah. I'm getting some real Fallout 3 vibes. I could be wandering around a vault. This segment here is a little more difficult. On the highest difficulty, it may pose a bit of a challenge. And that right there was an air fuel grenade. The air fuel grenades in Resistance 3 are weird. Unlike Resistance 1 and 2, where they're a regular weapon, they appear oddly infrequently in Resistance 3. They were originally an Amazon pre-order weapon. You heard that correctly. And I think how it worked was they would originally replace the Molotov, but every once in a while, playing through the campaign, and I have the disc, I didn't download this, I didn't pre-order it, every once in a while you come across an air fuel grenade or two, but never enough for it to ever be like a tactically feasible weapon. So yeah, the air fuel grenades in Resistance 3 are really odd. They don't even get a journal entry. Like, everything else gets a journal entry. Like, the different hybrids that hold different weapons get journal entries. Like, a hybrid gets a journal entry, a hybrid with a sniper rifle gets a journal entry, a hybrid with a rocket launcher gets a journal entry. You know, like, everything gets a journal entry except the air fuel grenades. It's strange. It's strange. So as you may have seen, there were snipers by that drone. That's what makes this particular area more difficult on higher difficulties. But I've already wiped them out, so... Third drone eliminated. One more to go.
Last one's in the cafeteria. Get back to the arena. Let's hope they're done eating.
Joe Capelli. That's right. We know who you are. Looks like we underestimated you. Not anymore. We got plans for you, my friend.
Watch yourself, Joe. Mix up to something. He's smarter than he looks. The only smart one around here, I think.
Cutler may know Capelli from his earlier Serpa days. Who knows? So I think that's the end of Freddie Valmore. That's probably the most interesting broadcast he's had. He really was no Henry Stillwell, but he's gone, so rip Freddie Valmore. Back to Mick Cutler, as I was saying. Yeah, he probably knows Capelli from his Serpa days, or maybe he's heard of him, who knows, but the really unfortunate thing here, and again, going back to Capelli being a silent protagonist, is the fact that we now have an ex-Serpa soldier who's clearly psychotic going up against another ex-Serpa soldier, one who has a track record of anger issues and violence, and because Capelli's a silent protagonist, there's no interaction between the two of them. That one moment in the previous mission where Capelli was getting upset and threatening to kill him as Cutler killed Malikov, that's the extent of their interaction. They aren't going to speak with each other ever again. It's just going to be Mick sort of talking at Capelli from over the radio. And I'm talking over the Chimera invading, so...
Herbert and his new friend Joe think they're gonna bring us down. Let's show them what happens when you fuck with the Wardens.
Not much is the answer. So we're back in the arena. This is the Beyond Thunderdome arena we were in earlier. it starts off as a bit of a sniper battle, and then because we've eliminated 3 of the drones, sort of cloaking the jail, the Chimera have sent out a new wave of drones to investigate, which is now what's happening. So it's now a 3-way conflict between Capelli, the Wardens, and the Chimera. And I wonder if the introduction of the Wardens was just so that they could have their 3-way battle. Which is strange, because Insomniac have already created the Feral Chimera as sort of a 3rd army.
Maybe this one.
And you think maybe, well, with the introduction of the Wardens, maybe we'll have massive 4-way battles with Capelli and the Wardens and the Chimera and the Feral Chimera.
I'll meet you in the kitchen.
But that never happens. Never, like, once we get out of the jail, we'll never see the Wardens again. So that was a little bit of a missed opportunity. Oh, this section here is rather challenging sometimes as well. This is the point where they just start throwing masses of Wardens at you. If you thought the Wardens wasted an unreasonable amount of resources and manpower in the previous mission to take down the train, just keep watching.
I'm behind the wall. Over here. Wait a minute. There's something wrong with this drone.
You looking for this? Herbert, you piece of shit. We've been good to you. We kept you safe all these years. You think you can survive outside these walls, huh? You wouldn't last a week. Get it, boys.
Oh no! You're trapped. This door is locked. If you give me a couple of minutes, I think I can rewire it. But you won't like where it leads to.
As long as it doesn't lead to another arena where I have to fight masses of Grims, I'll be okay.
Door's still stuck.
That was a joke, you see, because it's going to lead me to another arena full of Grims that I have to fight.
Rush 'em, boys!
Give me just a minute more.
So I believe they are throwing smoke grenades at me. Because those aren't my smoke clouds out there. I don't think they are. I don't know what good they are going off on the other side of the cafeteria, but... Hey, the Wardens aren't the sharpest tools in the shed.
He ain't that tough. Don't let him hunker down. Flank him.
Good one, Tips.
More! Get everybody in there!
The door is open. Back here. This way leads through the pit. I'm sorry, but it's the only way. You'll be on your own. I've got to find a way to get the rest of the prisoners free.
Oh, so now we get the creepy flashlight section of the jail. Now, instead of earlier when it would have made sense But, okay. I see how this works.
So you think he's dead?
He jumped into the pit, man. He ain't dead yet. He will be soon.
Yeah.
Hey, I bet if we find Herbert before anybody else, maybe we'll give her something nice.
Yeah, let's check the motor pool.
These villains are so two-dimensional, it's insulting. We will get to go to the motor pool later on, though. So that's something to look forward to. Ah, forget it. I don't know why I'm bothering with the leapers. The one thing to note about this area is you can't run while in waist-high water. So if we were to be attacked by, say, Grims, we wouldn't be able to run from them. Oh look, it's a bunch of Grims. I feel like I'm being a little negative on this particular level. It just feels, I'm just not a big fan of the whole Warden section. It feels, at times, phoned in, at other times cliched, at other times very forced. It's, it's the Warden section. Fortunately, as I mentioned earlier, once we're through it, we're through it. We won't see the Wardens again, so just sort of have to grin and bear it for now.
See the drones at cell block A?
Yup, death squads are coming our way, I bet.
Should we run?
Where to?
I don't know.
Damn right you don't know. This here's our home. We defend it to the death, right?
Sure.
I like that there was a cryo gun just sitting in the walls of the prison here. That makes sense. Oh hey, it's that arena that's going to be full of Grims. What you didn't see here was, because I had a number of weapons that weren't leveled up, I actually did a bit of save scumming here and leveled up some of my guns. I think the only one I don't have to max level up at the moment now is the shotgun, because I only had a single shell. And oh my god, dying, firing off the one bullet, coming back to life, firing off the one bullet again, dying, and just doing that over and over and over again was way too tedious, so I stopped doing that. But here you can see something new. You can see the cryo gun, when it freezes people, is now creating massive spiky shards. which do additional damage to anyone that walks through them. So that's kind of neat. The mutator, I believe, is just more potent and may fire off a few additional blobs. The carbine now has a bayonet on it, making it extremely powerful melee weapon, and again, negating any need for me to ever use a sledgehammer, which unfortunately is the only weapon that has no levels, so you can never upgrade your sledgehammer to an awesome rocket launcher, jetpack hammer. Yeah. Yeah, you can see the bayonet on the end. Yeah. I get a bit confused here because there's no way to go, and the game's introducing a mechanic that we haven't had to use, really, ever in the game, so... Thankfully it has little reminders. Oh yeah, you need to shoot these. Because we need to shoot things to make bridges now, apparently. So props for the obvious objective reminder. I'll give Insomniac that.
Dropship in the motor pool. Get some rockets out there and bring it down.
Our plan is working. The Chimera are starting to attack. I'll free the rest of the prisoners while the Wardens deal with the Chimera.
Now this section is actually pretty neat. I really enjoyed this section. The motor pool battle is pretty cool.
I still got a drone in here.
Yeah, you go, Nick.
Let's make sure we never hurt anyone else ever again.
So the fun part about this section is the fun part in any shooter game where there's multiple factions fighting with each other. Think Halo, where the Flood fight the Covenant, and then the humans swoop in. This is more or less what's going on. We're the Master Chief, and the Flood are fighting the Covenant, and it's pretty hectic. There's drop ships firing and everything. I don't know if there's any point to blowing up the drop ships with the wildfire, so that's something I would recommend not doing. The easiest way to get through this section is to sort of learn the layout and then just run through it. Honestly, the Wardens and the Chimera become so preoccupied with each other that it's pretty easy to duck through them and get to the exit. Now again, I do think there was a bit of a missed opportunity on Insomniac's part by not having feral Chimera start attacking. We know that there are Leapers and Grims in the building. It would have been nothing to have them come in here and start making a mess. Like, maybe Capelli detonated a hole through a wall so that all the Grims and Leeches could escape from the pit, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. Nor do any Widowmakers show up. There is no Chekhov's Widowmaker in this stage. Still, what we have here, Chimera versus the Wardens, this is a very fun encounter. In case it's not obvious from the frequent explosions and dropships, running down the middle of the motor pool in the open is suicide, so duck into the garages and sort of work your way around it while undercover. That's the trick to get through here. and then literally what happens right there is you have the Chimera coming from the left, the Warden's on the right, and you just run right past them into the elevator.
You might be wondering why I've been helping Mick for so long. I'm not proud of it. There is blood on my hands, but we all do what we have to in order to survive.
I'll be honest, Herbert, I didn't have any second thoughts about why you were helping Mick.
Things are getting crazy up here, Joe. Chimera everywhere. I'm gonna get the rest of the prisoners out. Meet you back here.
Oh, man.
Nathan Hale, aren't you? They said you got kicked out of Serpent. Me too. There ain't many of us left. Men like us. We're born to fight.
Certainly are. So let's duke it out with a quick time event.
You want this?
Oh no. I'll use the power of the quick time. Come on. Yeah. This is so... It's a quick time event. I can't... I can't make this seem exciting. This is not even an interesting quick time event. I did have to press the fire button there, and I do have to press the second function to detonate the pistol here. And that's it. That's the end of Mick Cutler. Thankfully, the end of the Wardens.
I managed to free some of the others, but we gotta move.
Alright, now we have like a whole new group of people to adventure with us to New York, right? New cast of characters, new survivors. This will be interesting. So that is literally it. The Wardens are now all dead. Thank goodness. Let's just pretend that never happened.
I think I'd ever get out of there alive. If there's ever anything I can do to repay you.
Take care of each other.
Wait. Really? Just going off on your own again. Okay. I feel like this was a really pointless detour. I feel like our time has been wasted just a little bit.